Yeah.
The thing for Final Fantasy.
welcome back to Shackled City, episode 166. With some mild issues with cameras. I don't know why. Happens literally every time. I hate it. Alright, that's good. You're good. That's the problem. Always any. Every
God,
time.
any. Can't believe you.
Love you, buddy. It's alright. It's alright.
Schminny. Always with the innies, never with the outies.
Thank you, Alphonse. I appreciate that. Alright, guys. So, we do in fact have the full crew. Yes, it's true. Yes, yes, yes. As always, thank you for showing up. Episode 166, we are swinging back in to this. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I believe. Had some wild things happen. Remember, you can always make changes to the game courtesy of your reputation that you earn in a plethora of ways. If you'd like to go even further, you can give the players luck rerolls every 5 gifted subs, or anytime that number right there increases. So when it hits 273, then 278, so on and so forth, it will grant them a luck reroll. Every 10 gets me a luck reroll, so please consider. Guys, how are you doing? How you feeling?
Doing all right.
All right, okay.
Fair to middling.
How about you, Thelsa? How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you got? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Red, how about you?
I literally just muted to change my sound settings as you said that. I'm doing okay. I've been hard focused on Final Fantasy, becoming Big Dick DPS.
Excuse me?
There's programs that track like how much damage you do.
Okay.
And in trying to climb up the ranks, I've become better than 95 to 96% of the player base. And that's a actual number that I have on my page.
I was gonna say I know that 95 is a real number. Even
Yeah, that's not me pulling bullshit asses. I'm just better than 95% of people. It's just for that it takes a lot of fucking focus. That's a lot of effort. More effort than I like doing. And yeah, what Aurora said. Final Fantasy 14.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Sniper looks weird without a hat too. Yeah, I mean, he just Sniper about things. Let him do his thing. It's all good. So,
Sniper,
are you?
How do I look weird without a hat? I've only worn a hat today.
I feel like every villain sort of looks weird.
I feel like you've never looked not weird.
I
What the
just
fuck?
off of your statement, Sniper didn't weird me out with a hat, but I pictured Sniper a hat for his mustache, which was significantly better pictured.
A hat for my mustache? Like,
Yeah, just hold on, just stay still, chat. I need you to look at his mustache, take his hat, take his mustache, take his hat, move it down a few inches, put it right on the mustache. Just think.
So
about
what?
it.
You're talking like having a hat hanging off the end of my nose, or
Yeah.
are you talking?
Yeah, or maybe like a little tiny sombrero on top of it.
Can you just get a top hat tattooed just above your mustache?
No, it's a bad idea. Don't do that.
No, do it, please. For the love of God, do it. Chat!
No, I don't need a little black hat tattooed right here. I have problems enough in my life.
I don't see what could go wrong here.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Red? What do you mean? What do you want to put a hat on his mustache?
I feel like it could work. Add a tiny little sombrero right there.
You know? I don't think so.
You don't see it?
I've never.
What about one of the propeller hats?
No.
No.
Real hat.
No. You've lost your damn mind.
I don't need to wear a sombrero or a top hat or a beanie or a fez.
Well, you don't need to.
What about a yarmulke?
That one could work. I think Innie's just trying to push you towards a certain path here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where are Yarmulke? Yeah, that's right, because, you know, me turning Jewish is going to happen.
You know, if you try hard enough, anything is possible.
You could try one of those fuzzy Russian hats.
That's an Ushanka. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
You could just like grow a full beard though instead, and not have that happen at all.
Well, I come in way too patchy on the sides and everything. I mean, the 1 or 2 times I've worn a beard on stream, I don't think it's been well received.
I don't remember it being
Yeah,
received at all.
I don't think I recall either, to be honest.
Sniper's beard is a helicopter.
People don't remember me for the beard; they remember me for the stash.
I mean, that's true. I always remember the
patchy.
goatee.
You know, so until it gets long enough to flex again.
What the fuck is going on? What happened?
What are you going on about?
Yeah, bub.
What do you mean? What do I mean? What the fuck is this conversation?
We're talking about my pubes, okay?
I need you to explain what parts you're confused about. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit.
You know what? I don't know anymore.
Feel
Fuck
okay.
it. Back to game.
Confusion is just an illusion.
Hey Ronald, how are you doing, bud?
Doing all right, chilling.
Yeah, okay. Right on.
Do I sound better to you guys?
Yeah.
Not as crazy.
Covered the
Okay,
sauce.
good.
Did he sound crazy before?
I don't know. Last
Yes.
week you were like, "Yeah, fix fuck back," and I was like, "Okay, I'll work on it."
Oh, dude, it sounded like you were in a wind tunnel, my guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so did he wrap a sock around his mic?
I think
2 of them.
No, this is actually a dice bag.
You changed it.
he's
Yeah.
sleeving it for our pleasure, I think. I'm not really sure.
No, there's
Green
padding on the
pleasure.
inside of it, so it muffles some of the sound.
Ooh, it's extra padded too. Look at that.
This is almost on the level of the taste bud conversation. Yeah, Dapper, you're going to find that this game is particularly accurate to what you might find out of, 5 or 6 real friends sitting around a table.
Yeah, I mean, normally we would go ahead and talk about how a padded dice bag makes his mic extra girthy,
But we won't tonight. For my pleasure. We won't
because
talk
we're
about it.
polite like that. Because we are respectful players in his game world.
Ronald, I know that you are worried about the audio, but it definitely looks like you're preparing for insertion of your microphone.
I'm just leaning on it. That's all.
Okay, all right. Are you good?
Yeah. Why?
All right, I just want to make sure that everybody's in the right headspace, because it sounds...
Will's not.
well, yeah, I see that. He's the fucking Phantom. I'm waiting on the musical sting so he can break out with a half-white mask and a black cape.
He's work is sporadically calling him throughout the night. So if he turns away from us, it's so he can breathe from his mic.
Hey, Lone, what's going on, buddy? That was quick, and it was backwards.
It saved me.
All of it was backwards.
Yeah. And he is shockingly good at writing backwards, and I entirely blame VR chat for it.
Yeah, I write backwards in cursive a lot.
Yeah, like constantly.
What?
Like more than I see him right facing him most of the time. Because the way he plays VR chat and he writes messages to people, so he writes it so they can see it instead. So he just writes it backwards.
Yeah. I would be really good at writing on glass panes so that people on the other side could read it. Other than that, it's not a useful knowledge.
That's the weirdest superpower, but I applaud you. It'll probably save someone somewhere.
There's nothing super about this power. I just want to be clear. And I don't think it's going to save a whole lot. But you could.
What if he's trying to go through a bus
To be
in the middle
fair,
of
to be fair,
Antarctica, and he can only draw on the window to save the children inside the bus?
if the gimp suits went ahead and gave us good stats, we probably would.
Red, I'm gonna be honest with you for a minute. I think that he could probably just stick his fucking head out the window and scream. He doesn't need to write in cursive backwards for people to see that he needs help. Just throwing that out.
You just have no touch for flare, bub.
Who would want to touch a flare? You burn yourself,
Uh-huh.
Red? There's a reason that I am the dungeon master. I don't have the flare.
Okay.
Yeah,
I should mention this is something that only you might understand. Chat might understand, Bub. I've been playing with Kenzie for like the past 3 days on League. So my shit levels, normally they're here. They're like here right now. Like somewhere way the fuck off in the stratosphere.
All right.
Okay, I got a feeling we're gonna be pressing F tonight.
Might be. We'll see how this goes. So,
I got a fever for the flavor.
Ronald, you don't have a favor
Yes.
for the flavor. You don't.
I'm not gonna finish this.
Yeah, please
what I was about to say.
don't. I know the song. I know it all too well. No fever for the flavor.
Who are you talking to?
Ronald, just what happened
Yes.
last time we played? Please.
Oh, you want to know what happened last time? Then
Hell
everyone
yeah, I
get
do.
your chains and get your locks, because we're about to get shackled in for tonight's Shackled recap. Somebody kill me.
Why do you do this every week, Bub? You ask him every week, and he does it every week.
Because nobody else will recap the fucking session.
Yeah, you're right, I guess. That's a good point.
I'll
All right.
recap it, just not right.
So, last week, a couple of things went down. Starting off with Rahk. As far as I remember, he ended up finishing his conversation with Fables. And after he went back to the bathhouse, him and Cort essentially had kind of a bonding moment with each other. More or less asking questions of... I wouldn't even say if it's something. I guess just kind of gathering trust while Cort was cooking stew for the party.
Yes.
Rahk wanted to go down into Drektar's Way to explore to see what was down there. Upon their exploration, they ended up finding out that looks like they're copper veins inside Drektar's Way. But I guess there's fragments of copper that are in the air that are causing sparks to ignite on the torch. On top of that, they were also hearing rumbling noises and didn't want to risk a cave-in, so they ended up opting out. Ulhime also did the same, but wasn't sure what the material was when he was first there. From there, Jakob ended up going to making his way to Sasserine, where he and let me get his name.
Marion?
Marion Greyweather,
There you go.
Cort's master, who has one arm, ended up having a bit of a pep talk about the last encounter they had at Red Gorge, which didn't go over so well when it came to asking for aid for Cauldron.
Right. So, what do we know about Sasserine?
Well, we do know that it is a port city that happens to export various fish goods and timbers, as well as glass.
I learned something new about Sasserine today.
What's that?
Major temple to Weejas in Sasserine because it was founded by original priests of Weejas.
That is correct. Yeah. To say the least. Sasserine has a pretty predominant history with some major names that you may remember, like, I don't know, Surabar Spellmason. It has quite a reputation with Surabar.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong, Jacob?
The fact that I'm bringing in the staff of Surabar Spellmason corrupted. that can only go well.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But
Bub's
yes,
like, oh man, I forgot all about that.
it is a port. It is a port town. They profess in a few things. Churches. The churches are plenty in Sasserine. There are actually a few that are dedicated to Weejas. There are a number of them that are also dedicated to Cort. But that's a good point. Sasserine is known for a few things. What do you know of Sasserine aside from the fact that it's a port town? Do you know anything else about it?
Nope.
They've got a lot of fish.
A lot of fish. Yeah, that's accurate. Anybody, anything else? All right. That's yes. The silence is deafening. I love it.
Well, we all said no. I mean,
Yeah, other than the filler that you had Sniper give, there wasn't really much information that we had on it other than that it was a port town of.
is there something we should know?
There might be a few more things that you guys could pick up, but I think if you can't recall, then it's largely because your characters are newest enough that you wouldn't remember it.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Was this before me and Sniper came into the game? Because I don't remember anything about Sasserine being mentioned.
Before your, well, it was never quite mentioned by name. It was mentioned as like X towns close to you have this. It was a long time ago, bear in mind. So it's not like you're losing that much.
It was mentioned somewhere in the 600 plus hours of game time that we've had.
That is a fair assessment. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move a little forward here. So we have Jakob hauling ass off to Sasserine after his trip to Red Gorge, which went oh so smoothly. Marion decided to impart unto you some quality guidance. What did he pass unto you, Jakob? What kind of information?
The art of the deal, pretty much. You know, he decided to go ahead and tug on his comb over. He was like, what you gotta do is you gotta ask for more than you're willing to go ahead and walk away with. You know, you can't seem desperate. You can't ask for things that they have in abundance. Ask for help, but just ask for more than you need. Aim for the stars. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Aim for the stars. You'll at least land in the sky. Yeah. That's one of the few lessons I took away from my recent class.
And then he mentioned something about building a wall, and I don't know where he came out with that one.
What?
He asked for a small loan, 1 million gold.
I don't. Were we playing?
You don't
the
remember
same
that
game? I don't. Yeah, this is news to me.
And so you probably weren't there. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, that makes sense. I must have just missed that. Just right overhead.
You were focusing on other stuff. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So Jacob's on his journey, probably the last leg of it, to be honest. He's arriving to Sasserine very, very soon. And then he'll be on his way back, which will have a meeting, a return of the crew, which is going to be kind of good. What's cracking with Thelsa? What's happening with her?
She went to go visit the Demon Scar because she heard some bad stuff about it when she was in. And yeah, it turns out there's a lot of real bad things there.
Okay.
It's a nice place to be in her mind, but there were some, Afrits and smaller Hezru running around. One that got stabbed by a large monster. And after a small chat with him, he said that I didn't belong, but that if someone were to claim the Demon Scar, they'd have to take out the opposition, which were 3 demons.
Yes.
Shit. Vilsteth, Vralakai, and Vavakia.
That's right. I'm glad that you wrote that down.
And yeah, no, they're all like out of my range. So I was like, all right, catch you later. I'll come back in like a couple years. Take this place over.
By years, you totally meant levels, right?
Yeah, I just put that in actual words.
Yeah, you definitely meant levels there. All right, so yeah.
I also mean years. It's probably going to take us like 2 years to get to level 20, maybe. Out in real life years.
In real life, I mean, maybe that's feasible. You guys you're past the hump, right? Like you're past 10, and well, that's great. That's going to be really challenging. This being said, if you want your characters to come in moving forward, being at any level of competence equivalent to what you currently are, they have to have some next level backstory. Because why on earth would just a rogue 12th or 13th level character just decide to join this rowdy lot, you know? So let's hope you guys don't die. You're finally at a point where you can begin really pressing your luck. I just hope it's not too much. Why can they not fight, or why can the one not fight the others? What's his deal?
He said that he couldn't find them.
Couldn't find him, yeah.
I don't know what that means, because I'm pretty sure you can just cast spells that give you telepathy to talk to everything in an area, but I'm sure there's some kind of magical restraints in the area.
Demons, man, they've got all kinds of neat tricks and shit.
Like magnets and shit.
Like, that's right, magnets. Demons had it all along, man. They've been doing it right for a while. We just slowly caught up with our small simian brains.
Yeah, they get it. We don't.
That 8,000 IQ. Next level shit. All right, cool. What about Cort? What's cracking with Cort? What's happening in his story?
I remember I was talking to Rahk. I don't remember actually if we ended up leaving the bathhouse, guild house, or what are we calling it, a guild house yet? Yeah. Okay, we'll go with Ronald.
It's
we left
the group bathing arena.
Yeah, we left the group blood sports arena, and I honestly don't remember if I split ways with Rahk or if we decided to walk around town together. I don't remember what he was doing. I remember our little adventure into the depths below the rocks and everything.
Yes.
Which I found out the discrepancy, by the way, with the lantern. It's the only character out of all the characters I've made so far that doesn't have a lantern, because he has glowing glove hands that he gloves. It's like clap on, clap off. Remember when we were fighting the assassins in the bathhouse, and there was the invisible one, and I grabbed out his ankle and left the handprint?
Vaguely, no. I think vaguely, yeah.
They're glowing gloves. That's why I didn't have I should have slapped myself on the chest and left a giant glowing handprint.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Note to
I
self.
fucked up on that.
Cut off
Note to self.
hands.
No, I like those. How am I gonna hold my sword? Am I just gonna put it in the stump and just? Am I gonna be like what's his name from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy? Haas.
Yeah.
If Thelsa does it while he's sleeping, can she level up?
Maybe. I mean, you would technically be taking out a what's your level again, Cort? 12. a 12 CR, a 12th level character. Just think of all the experience you could get if you just coup de grace all of these people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cast weird on him and just kind of like walk out. And then Zandy's gonna be real upset because he died of death spells.
Oh god. This
is terrible. This is just terrible. Okay, all right. What's happening with Ulhime? What's going on in his world?
He finished his conversation with the old man in Fables, where he was supposed to help bring back his grandson.
Yeah.
After the events of the Drektar's Way, he decided to meet up with the old man the day after in the morning. From there, Ulhime tried to resurrect the man's son.
Yes.
And Phrasma and Weejoss intervened. I guess completing the blade of Thelsa's Athame blade. And as a result, the boy's life was taken. The old man essentially vowed vengeance on the group because of it, and
yeah, he wants to fucking murder us now.
Threw Ulhime over the cauldron wall into the
Yeah.
forest.
Okay. What's going on with the blade? What's happening with the Athame?
I don't know because I don't have it anymore.
Didn't it absorb the kid? Isn't that what happened? And then
Yeah,
stuff formed
that's
around it?
that's what I said. That it.
It absorbed
Yeah,
the kid, but then when he got blasted,
He got yeeted
I
into the
had
next realm.
presumed the Athame stayed where it was, and he was blasted, not the both.
Yeah, it totally killed a kid that I was not present for and in no way responsible.
You're
about.
right. This is the first kid in our story to die that you had no hand in doing anything.
P.S. The kid was already dead, and Xander was trying to resurrect him because Jake.
Sniper killed him. Right. So technically,
good.
You still technically,
God.
you still
you
technically
did have
my
your hand
fault.
in this. Specifically, you had
Small aside,
your hand in his chest cavity.
Will just turned around for the first time, and his eyes, like he straight up looked like a raccoon. His eyes caught the light of the camera, like someone just flipped on the back porch and just caught a raccoon eating the dog food. Just all eyes, like, oh my god.
Oh no, they found me.
Oh,
But we ended the session, I think, at that point. I don't think there was anything else that led after that.
I don't remember there being much after that. No.
Well, the last part was technically Thelsa, but yeah.
yes, we were actually going to start today's session with Thelsa.
I'm ready.
You're-
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay. How did the last session end particularly for your character? Were you just waiting in the scar, or were you trying to make big moves? What does this look like?
It ended shortly after I had talked with the demon that was present, and I had decided that this is a task that I'm going to tackle at a later date because these are a little bit out of my control. Despite having this demon inside it, I don't trust it, and I don't think I'm strong enough to just kind of tackle 3, super high level demons because they seem a little bit too strong for me.
Yeah, they're powerful dudes, or dudettes. You don't really know.
Yeah, I didn't check or ask.
It's not like you could just hold on, just lift a leg.
Except
Sorry,
he was
ma'am.
he was like 30 feet tall, or she. I could have just
Also wearing armor,
peeked. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
like a gigantic draconic Hecarim. Yeah,
I figured
I
they need
still don't
underbelly
like for
armor.
1,000.
I mean maybe, but maybe not. I don't really know. I don't have all rights to the continuity of how demons are constructed, nor their armor, but I imagine that there is at least something there.
For sake of, I don't really want to know if I saw it or not. There is armor. And then afterwards, I had planned on just proceeding to run around for a little bit longer to enjoy my time in, this stance that I'm in that I've never been in before. It seems almost natural to me. Running on all fours, similar to an animal rather than like running like a human. And I never had done this before, and it just came so well to me. So I decided to stick around for a little bit longer and enjoy it before, something found me or got courageous enough to attack.
I'm waiting on someone to find that like 3-minute video of the woman just running through the field.
Horse
Yeah, on all fours and just like leaping over. That's what Thelsa is doing right now. Oh, and it's kind of weird.
Except I'm running at like full run speed.
Yeah, which is gross. You're probably moving just a little bit slower than a horse at full speed, but that's not unsettling even in the slightest. So you're gonna stick around and you're gonna run around for a while before what?
And then-
Tuckering out and just
then-
going back?
Yeah, pretty much. I had planned on gathering my stuff that I left on a memorable tree and heading back through it.
With your tree stride spell, correct?
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. So you'll return to your native home, or at least what you've called home for so long. Entering back into Cauldron. Late enough. You probably stepped right out of that same tree, just for familiarity's sake. It's late. Far past the curfew, as has been stated by Kiana Green and what remains of the guard, but there's not many here to stop you. You can just as easily enough go invisible and not have to deal with anything.
Yeah.
This falls into you. What do you want to do?
I would likely just kind of walk through the streets, or not streets, but side roads as normal, not using any invisibility, just kind of staying out of sight. And I'd want to head over to the Temple of Ouijas because I want to check it out. And ideally, I'd like to refurbish the place, get it up and running again, because I believe there should be a temple here, and now that Ike Iverson's out of the picture, or, you know, in a different picture, I'd like to restore some kind of faith instead of letting it just become an abandoned church like, I don't know, everything else.
Sure. You enter into the temple. It is the temple to Ouijas. You know, she speaks to you from time to time. You saw what you believe is some material form, maybe a vision, mayhaps something more. You're not really sure. But occasionally it speaks to you. And now you are in her home. She's your patron saint, for all intents and purposes, and you've taken a liking to this location. You don't really know much about Ouijas, other than what you've been told. Will you... What will you do right now? What does this seem to be like? Since it's so late, I mean, you're not really that tired, but you could rest.
I think I want to check around for anything that might have been left behind, any kind of scripture or notable things of worth. Not expensive, just kind of for knowledge.
Okay.
And, if I found something, I'd look into it, but if nothing, I'd probably just lay down for a rest, because I can't go outside without someone being upset about it.
Sure. You'll find that there is what looks to be some sort of small study, a place that has a few small bookshelves. And they are not currently full. Not all of them. They have a lot of space on the shelves, but there are some important bits of text here, particularly regarding Ouijas. You know that the place wasn't really left in total disrepair, but as an abandoned building, it wasn't quite affected by the goblin threat.
Right.
What would you like to do? Do you just want to sit and study on the goddess herself, or are you going to strip the sheets? Gonna set things on fire? Talk to me.
Not set things on fire. I would like to look into, you know, who my patron saint is, because despite being my patron saint, I never really looked into who she was, just her base morals from what she told me and what I had been told from prior. So getting to know some of her history would be nice.
How long would you study on Ouijas?
Probably only a couple hours, maybe 2 hours. Just running through books, and not many, just a couple. And I know that they'll be here when I wake up, so...
Okay.
Gotta do some studying before I head to bed.
Sure. There is a lot of information, particularly on Ouijas. Her symbols are varying, but most commonly it's seen as a skull surrounded in flame. Like a red skull surrounded in flame. Which, for all intents and purposes, looks sort of menacing, a little evil. She has a series of names that she has gone by, titles, various titles. The Ruby Sorceress, the Dark-Eyed Lady, the Witch Goddess, the Stern Lady, the Taker, the Lady of Book and Bone, and Death's Guardian. She has a variety of listed native planes, because you know that, at least up to this point, deities rest in their own existence. They don't stay on the typical mortal coil. If they come to the material plane, it's so they can enact something tremendous. Her home is listed as the Cabal Macabre, or Ocanthus. These are not places that you are naturally familiar with. It does also speak of a place called Acheron, but you can't really find much more about it. The dogma of Weejas is that she is seen as the steward of the dead. She is like the ferryman. Though she is relatively benign as a death goddess, she has no problem with undead being created as long as they are not reanimated against their will, and their remains are procured in a lawful manner. Weejas is unconcerned with questions of morality, if it can be done within the confines of the law. She allows it. Her priests are known as the Jacedan. They teach magic that is key to all things, and they are expected to show respect to their predecessors, but particularly to the departed. She's particularly popular with wizards, sorcerers, and many necromancers seem to also revere her. As a death goddess, more people look to her as safe passage into the afterlife than some of the harsher deities, like the older Nerul. She's also honored by those involved with upholding and interpreting laws, such as judges and magistrates, justicars. You think to it for a while, and based on what you had seen in regards to Ike never quite fit the profile of a Jacedan priest. A little dogmatic, a little strange. Do you wish to venture further to find out more?
Yeah. I still want to know more about Ike's rule around here, and I guess I can't really figure that out from scripture. It's not going to be written down, but I would like to look into that at some point.
Okay. Particularly as you continue digging, go ahead and give me a... Just give me a flat d20. It's really good, actually. You find information on the rituals. Particularly, services to Weejas include the reverent flattery of her icons. She seems to adore finery and gems, magically produced fires as well. Most temples have extensive magical and law libraries, and all endeavor to preserve what few fragments still remain of ancient Sulian laws. Urban Arcana indicates that sororities and fraternities dedicated to her include large marble altars used for initiating pledges, known as suitors, and possibly for blood sacrifices of animals. That kind of strikes a chord because the image that you saw of her was of this almost free-flowing blood. It also speaks of important days to her holy days. There is the Nights of the Waxing Moon, the Goddess's Blush, and the Ruby Convocation. On the nights when Selene or Luna are waxing, Jacedan light magical bonfires. They seem to create illusions and offer praise and sacrifice to their goddess. On the Goddess's Blush, it says that the Jacedan seem to gather in temple to torch and burn pieces of jewelry as a sacrifice to the taker herself. But the one that is most important is noted as the Ruby Convocation. It's a holiday mainly for clergy and laity of high status. The Ruby Convocation is held every 10 years. On this festival, it's modeled after what seems to be some sort of extravagant ball. Contacts are made and reinforced, stories are told, and knowledge is exchanged. At the end, the guests drink wine out of a goblet with a ruby sitting in its basin. This is known as the ruby toast, and is given in thanks to the ruby sorceress herself. After the drink, the ruby is cast into the fire. Now, there are a variety of tales that seem to speak of what this is to represent and what happens to the ruby, but they are never found again for one reason or another.
I want to see if it's listed what day it is, or when the next ruby convocation. I don't know if it would be listed.
Okay, give me another d20.
Okay. 18.
Very good. Rolling above the cuff here. Actually, yeah, there is a separate page, particularly in one of the more binded tomes, which indicates after hunting, again, it's a dedication of hours at this point, but you'll find that the next ruby convocation is slated to be the following year, which is only 8 months out. It's a very important event, a very important time.
I'm gonna have to get things running here by then, or, head over to Sasserine to visit the temples there. That's one of my main plans.
Okay.
I would like to get something established here.
Good.
But
I like that idea. But this is going to take you hours of hunting down this information. A lot of this is first-hand recanting from the Jacedan themselves. And a lot of it seems like paltry drivel. A lot of love letters, if you will, to her and her greatness. Some of it you can see through the value. There are some things that seem to line up and you're piecing together information, but for the most part, it's just a lot of flattery that's poured down upon her. You don't really find anything in regards to Ike. You don't find any indication of why he arrived, when he arrived, and his importance, but that many people know of him. Typically regarded as a quiet sort, keeping to himself. It's going to be most of your night, though.
yeah,
Will you rest here, or will you go back to the bathhouse?
I'm gonna rest here.
Okay.
I'll figure out. I don't think the commons should be in too much of a disarray. I'll probably rest in there somewhere.
All right. Roll me... You know what? Let's see here. I want from you... I want a 35% chance. Give me a 35% range.
30 to 65.
Okay. All right. Now, as a final, give me a 15% chance.
High.
Of course, you would miss the first, but the second.
Yeah, I got the smaller one.
Yeah, of course you would. That is typical Innie.
It's more important, right? That's what matters. Either that or it's a good thing and then a bad thing, and I miss the good thing and get the bad thing every time. That sounds pretty apt.
Yeah, come on, where's your butt?
Okay. Moving through the Temple of Ouijas, trying to find a place to rest, you find a few rooms that you can recall, if you remember. It's mostly offered to those that are dedicated specifically to Ouijas herself, but in this regard, you do happen to stumble into one of the two rooms available. You can always rest in the smaller rooms dedicated to the newer recruits, to the Decedent themselves. But I'm going to go ahead and drag your token information over to the temple. Okay. Where is... There you go. Thank you.
I have no light, so can't see anything.
That should pull you immediately, and I'm going to give you light now. You should have vision.
Not yet.
Yep, just a second. $15. About now.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
I
get
see.
you
I
there.
see.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see.
You move about, and from your previous experience here, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is Ike's room. You know that another floor up is dedicated specifically to Embrel. Embrel was the headmaster, the leader, the temple leader.
I'd probably do a little bit of exploration in each room and sleep in whatever one was, looked more comfortable.
Embrel's is quite a bit more lavish. Not only just by vacant design, but just in what it's equipped with. And the bed is by and large like one of the most beautiful pieces of furniture that you've ever seen. It's bound to be comfortable.
I'd still look through Ike's room just for anything I could find of interest, but I would be sleeping in the upstairs.
Okay. Peering through Ike's room, it's uncanny because it looks mostly unused. You don't really know why that is, but you get the sense that it is lived in. The red marble itself seems to have wear and tear from the same series of steps walking to and from the door to the bedside. Years of pacing. The bed itself seems to have a bit of a dip where someone's rested like the dead. But the bed seems perfectly made.
Are there any belongings in the dresser or, I don't know, nothing?
You guys had gone through all of the belongings here just to see if what there may have been, and there was just mundane paperwork. Anything that may have really looked like he occupied this place was almost non-existent.
All right. Yeah, after not finding much, if anything, I'd head upstairs to go and get some rest.
Okay. It's late. It's mere hours before sunrise, so I imagine you'll be sleeping for a while.
Yes.
You'll find her room to be the largest and the comfiest inside of this place. Brilliant scarlet marble with the emblazoned flaming skull. It's a beautiful room. And it has a glass set which allows you to peer down, almost like a balcony. It's from there that you can actually see that the floor is of white marble. And it looks as if some sort of mural was painted across the floor. It's much clearer now from your current location. Things just aren't adding up, Thelsa. Why would the leader of the church have someone so cold and callous and willing to commit murder? Ouija's is not what a normal person would say is regarded as an evil deity. She has evil tendencies from time to time, but she is heavily regarded as lawful neutral. There is a certain tantamount of law.
Yeah. At some point, I'm gonna have to, I don't know, find some clergy that were here or something that I could figure out information on.
Okay.
But it seems like, I don't know, we went through most of this place and I found no documentation or anything that was super important, but I do plan on looking further. And like going over this place, you know, brick for brick, looking for something.
Gotcha.
Looking at the rugs,
Okay.
so to speak. I mean, everything's marble. There's no rugs here, but you know what I'm trying to say.
There actually is a small rug. Bear in mind, it is longer than it is wide. It's actually very very thin. You can tell that it was just designed to house Emerald's feet. After she woke, she would just throw her body over the edge, and before stepping onto the cold marble, she would sort of catch her bearings. This place looks a bit more lived in for sure, but again, things just don't quite add up. And your night will not be necessarily easy, but you'll find rest. It's beautiful, but broken in bed. We're gonna move. We're gonna pass the torch to Jakob. Jacob.
Yes.
Days will pass by. You will have, for all intents and purposes, arrived to your location. And we can make this as swift as possible, if you wish. If you think that you can succeed in the trade, in this verbal trade of sorts, this is your opportunity. I'll give it to you. But if you just want to go with status quo and see whatever it is that they will natively send, we can make it as such. Sasserine doesn't natively have any issues with Cauldron. You've been allies for a long time. Any call to aid has always been heralded with mostly what you would need, or at least what they can spare at the time, which is more often than not enough. But if you like to push your luck, I'm for it. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I'm down to go ahead and have the verbal spar if necessary, but really what it's going to come down to, realistically, this is not something that Jacob is well versed at. He's basically just going to do like he did in Red Gorge. He's going to explain that Cauldron's been attacked, explain what happened, and that they're calling for aid. So I really don't see a need to go into heavy RP on it. The status quo should be
Enough?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say that they made their stop in Sasserine. Probably announced themselves, spent the night in the inn. He went ahead and announced himself to Sassarine's mayor the next day, explained the situation, and dutifully left at that.
Okay. That's okay. I know that there are some people that wish to see you flounder in this situation, but that's okay. I think it's gonna go well.
We've already had one example of how inexperienced Jacob is as a phase.
Oh, good.
And I'm more interested in him getting the fuck back to Cauldron with Marion, because oh my god, I want to see Cort go ahead and have his senpai moment.
All right, then I'm gonna put you back on your road travel with Marion, and we're gonna have a little bit of roleplay there before I pass it back, because those that are in town are going to have some difficult decisions to make. I'm gonna grab a water real quick. I will be right back. Probably swing by the bathroom, so I'll be back in just a second. Grab yourselves.
Oh man, he made the mistake of leaving us in charge. Oh my god. Yes, Chad,
Hey,
I'm sorry I got to go ahead and disappoint you tonight.
Hey, Ronald, I have a question for you.
What's up?
I am legitimately blanking on what we did after we left the basement. Was there anything after that, or am I just for me and Rahk?
No, you guys didn't.
Like
You
that.
guys,
that
didn't.
was it, right? We left, and then
Correct.
Okay,
It was just the RP
so-
moment that you guys are having.
yeah, like I'm sitting here trying to think since he asked me during the review, and I'm like, what did I do?
No, because you said you guys are going to go back patrolling and stuff
That's
again.
that's what I figured. Okay, so I'm not insane. It's just we didn't do it. Okay, good.
Yeah, the last few sessions have been actually pretty light on Rahk and Cort.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. You guys are doing your own thing. Ronald's trying to establish a guild house. You're going to other lands to get reinforcements, and he's deciding to start a church of awful people now.
Yeah, and I just had a moment where I sat here. And
You're right. Not awful. Murderers, evil people, Satan worshippers.
Yeah, but no, I'm sitting here having that moment where I'm trying to figure out what kind of combined name you and Rahk would have, like Benefer and all that.
Rahk.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Nope. Me and Rahk are just existing. We're doing our thing.
Yeah, you're going to remain two separate entities. You're not going to be that close.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, we don't need those words to mix.
Cort.
No, it's cork.
Oh, I just had one. I think I'm looking
That's the one that I was saying that we should not be referred to as.
I think it should be that one. And I'm gonna call you guys it next time I see you in game.
Thank God.
See, this is the quality I bring to our games.
You heard it here, Twitch.
Oh my god, Chad is being so quiet for me.
No, I mean they're just quiet. See? There you go. See, once you mention them, they start talking.
Yeah, you guys remember, you're the ones that are supposed to be entertaining us. We're sitting here quiet for 20, 30 minutes at a time. We want to go ahead and read something funny while we're doing it.
But what would Cort and Rahk's ship name be?
Cock.
God damn it, Bob! We were trying
Honestly-
to go so long with not saying
Yeah,
it.
but
Here
I probably-
Here I was being the good one for once. I was thinking about it, and then I thought, no, we can't.
I probably would have said, like, honestly, in the interest of it being somewhat PC, I'd probably say cork.
Yeah, my boy. See, Bub gets it.
Cork.
But yeah, Bub hears it, and he's just like, oh, cock!
Well, if you had said Rahk and Cort, it would have been totally different. But you
I
chose.
intentionally
Yeah.
said it Cort and Rahk.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
It was literally what all of us thought, and none of us were gonna say.
I just had a brilliant. I had my pre-game pee that was
And it
actually
just-
during game, and I just discovered. I figured out
The-
exactly how I'm going to handle today's session. I've got it. I've been thinking about
So
It
it.
was
wait.
laid out before you.
You got inspiration from the pee.
Oh, I mean, it was a really good pee though.
Look, inspiration peas are real.
Yeah. You ever had like a
You know,
real like you know the kind of
Some
like you know the
people
kind
have
of.
tea leaves, some people have matches.
Whoa, I didn't say that I found inspiration in the pee. By that feeling of the
I
pee
filtered it
leaving
out
my
and
body.
I found.
I in my rock stance, because I pee in the rock stance. You know the rock stance where your legs are probably just shoulder length apart. You have hand on groin, and then you've got that other arm is up, like on the wall. That's I always
See, I call that the lean.
that's my rock stance.
I feel that. I do the same thing, except I do it leaning forward because I have a.
Oh, because
Whoa.
it's kind of like Freddie Mercury, just like, oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sitting
I-
here going,
Facing
What?
the toilet.
I only pee at an Addie's stance.
The fuck is wrong with you? Okay. Oh my god. Oh. All right.
Yeah,
But yeah. Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway, I got I figured it out. I was delivered inspiration, and based off of a conversation I had earlier, and I didn't think it was gonna work. The pee came unto me, and now I have gold. You pee in a Captain Morgan stance? The fuck is that?
apparently he stands, he
Put your
puts
foot
it
on
You have
the-
to. You have to.
on the
Yeah,
edge
you
of
have
the
to put.
tub.
No, you put it on the toilet rim. It's the only way
Yeah.
you can assure
Yeah,
maximum aim.
but in order to do the Captain Morgan stance, you have to have your hands on your
Yeah.
hips.
Yeah.
Bro,
Gotta get lucky.
your dongle ain't gonna dangle in the right direction from that. Like, that's just not gonna happen.
Look, you need to let Jesus take the penis, bub.
Maybe if you put
Things
your
I
foot
didn't
up,
expect to hear for 1,000, Alex.
put your foot up on top of the water.
Oh wait, are you doing like are you doing like a
Yeah,
You
lunge?
gotta go straight down.
Maybe maybe you're just doing a lunge and you're just dipping into the water.
You gotta go like up and down to aim. You gotta,
No.
Get...
It's at that point you're going fishing, man. You sinking. You're sinking.
Like it doesn't feel right if there's no water on it.
That's right, man. Whew. It's chilly.
I just want to point out, I didn't start this conversation. Chat, you know how y'all think I'm the bad one? Nah. I'm behaved.
We're just talking about peeing.
I get
You're the
dragged
one
into
that's
this
still
shit,
killing
so-
kids like every other session.
Please don't kill kids in other towns. Like, it's bad that you do.
That's yet again another reason I just wanted to skip the RP and just be like, no, it's status quo, it's fine. Get them away from the kids. Get them away from the kids.
Calm down, R. Kelly.
It's the same thing. He walks into one of the towns. It's the same thing with Rahk. One of the kids runs up to him, thinks he's a monster, like, and he goes, oh god, fireball.
Can I touch your staff? Sure, kid. Snip. Oh, you don't need that arm, right? Please don't cry. Please don't cry.
Sniper has a bad rap. He's actually nice. Sniper is a nice guy. He is a really nice guy. He does get a bad rap, but I'm gonna be
Jakob,
honest.
on the other hand.
He certainly invites it. Yeah, he definitely invites it. I hear no argument coming from him. Yeah, perfect. Okay, all right. So, Jacob, your trip back to Cauldron. You know that from Sasserine, it is going to take you about 7 days. You will have been equipped with all the necessary foodstuffs for yourself, for Marion, and for your horses. All of the necessary water and the like, not an issue. Not even in the slightest.
Oh yeah, mine's a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just go ahead and give him a little calcium here and there. He's fine.
They don't think to question the tarped horse for one reason or another. They just think that it's, for one reason, again, or another, it is because of your heritage, which most of them have never seen someone like you before.
That works.
It could just be a cultural thing. They don't know. They don't ask a lot of questions, especially since you've come asking for aid for one of their prominent allies, a town that is important to them. Today seems a little different, though. You walk from Sasserine confidently to your horse. You stride accordingly out of town. And you make your way out. Marion is what seems so different. He's a knight. He's noble, and he's brave, and he's bold. And, well, he certainly fits a lot of those descriptors, but there is some nervousness about him. He wasn't even nervous when he looked like he was on death's door. But he's much quieter today. He's not as chipper and quick to speak. You notice that he, not only does he hold onto the reins, but to the front tie of the saddle itself. He's very turgid. His body is very stiff. And he just seems to look forward following the road.
You know, with 7 days of riding ahead of us, it's going to be rather difficult to keep our sanity if you decide to keep your thoughts to yourself like that.
He wobbles
Something on your mind?
to and fro. And that pause before you speak again, is there something on your mind? You hear a and he looks over to you. I'm sorry, did you say something?
Nothing important, obviously. No, I was just saying this is going to be a long ride ahead of us. Another 7 days on the road, and you look like you have something on your mind. Something happened in the city?
No. No, nothing in the city. I'm... Well, I'm not sure what to make of my situation. I'm not really much of a knight anymore. I know the study. I've practiced my entire life. I've trained many. But, well, I was already becoming much older. And now I'm without an arm. And my weakest protege is now, according to you, amongst the strongest that I've ever assisted in bringing to be. I don't know whether I've done poorly or rather well, and now I don't understand my place.
Oh. Seems a rather common question once you get on in years.
What do I do? What do I become? Do I lay down the blade and start writing poetry? Do I take an arrow to the knee, aptly, and finally bed a bride?
Well, between writing poetry and bedding a bride, I'm definitely going to be voting for the other one.
Do you have a bride?
No, I've luckily managed to go ahead and avoid that particular news.
Lucky. Where did you say you were from again? Do you not seek a bride for? Do you seek a husband? Is this what it is like where you're from?
No, I just happen to enjoy the bachelor's life a little long, a little better than the life of the stout husband, so to speak.
Your freedoms. I can appreciate that. I can. I just feel as if I've missed something important in life. And honestly, I'm afraid to meet my pupil, who, well, according to you, has aptly surpassed me, which I never thought would be the case.
Well, I don't know if I'd say as he's surpassed you. At best, you're both knights. At worst, you could go ahead and say that he is more capable, but such is to be expected. You've lost an arm. In battle, no less. You've done your deed. You've done what your intentions were. At this time, well, it's just a difficult case of figuring out where your futures lie. Perhaps you can't gallop nobly to the field of battle on a destrier or anything like that, but nothing says that you can't take on more pages and teach your craft. And nothing says that you can't settle down in one city or another and focus more on hearth and home. The options are there, though I think you're more intimidated at seeing your successes in our young Cort.
Maybe so. I'm just afraid that he might follow a life like mine, and while I have had my successes, the perils that have awaited me has come at quite a cost, and now I am not sure if it's quite regret, as if I feel like I have not been fulfilled, as if life has not quite sated me, and mayhaps I do take on another page. You think they take me serious? A one-armed knight?
Well, it's a question of what you can do with that one arm, I suppose.
Well, I can...
If you do decide to stay in the knighthood, and you're looking at an uphill battle at proving yourself.
I don't know if I'm quite cut out for it. That, believe it or not, I was never bested. Sure, we had come to agreements at time where we agreed that we would take things less seriously in an effort to show our squires, show those in training what it meant to react nobly, to enact mercy. But now, well, I don't know, my last fight, I felt like the page. I felt like the one in training. And I don't know what I will do if I ever see that man again.
Well, I have been somewhat avoiding the topic, but what did happen? All I've managed to ever hear from Cort is that you came across the village on fire and you sent him along knowing that the risks were too great for him. You had him flee and went on yourself. But nothing past that. Obviously, you've lost an arm, so I'm assuming that in some way, shape, or form you were best in combat, but I don't know if it was because of overwhelming odds or what happened.
If I'm being completely honest, I can't even speak to the truth myself. Well, it was so surreal. It almost seemed... It seemed what some may describe as a bit of a play. It almost felt as such. As if everything was falling into motion and I could see it around me, but that I'd seen this story before. And yes, there was a fire. The town where the boy hailed from. I decided to stay along so that he could see his family. As I'm not from this region, I'm from a little higher in the north. But it's fine. It's my job and my duty to travel around and train those to work under the appropriate hire of the king. Whatever came first. And, well, things were going rather well, I believe. He was picking up on many of the teachings, many of the lessons that I was imparting to him, but that... Well, there was a fire. And... well, he wasn't wrong. I demanded that he stay back with our horses. And I was to see as to what was going on. Sometimes in these small cities, when a storm rain asunder from above, a bolt will strike a home, and flames will take them quickly. You must understand, these thatched roofs, straw burns very quickly. But when I arrived, it was not that. It was not a stray storm. It was not a small group of bandits or even a large group of bandits. It was a single man. One man. And I don't know why he left me alive. And it's troubled me. And it's something that I've been dreaming of most every night. I wake up in sweats, and I try to wipe my brow, but I'm missing my dominant hand. You might assume how that may go. It's a stunning reminder. But I can't forget him. He bore no armor. And his blade was no greater than mine. In fact, I would say that mine was more. But his power, his speed... It's almost as if he knew what I was doing before I was doing it. It was all too supernatural. Foul play, much like a witch's actions. That's all I can say that it could be. Why else would his eyes burn with fire? It was more than a reflection. His hair was jet black, like coal. Ran the length of his shoulder. It was gaunt and frail. When I looked upon him, he looked like a corpse. His skin barely clinging to the body. His eyes sunk. Still a tall man. Every bit of as tall as myself, maybe a hair or a few more inches taller.
All right, and just to interject, is this description at all reminding me of somebody in particular? Because I'm thinking it sounds pretty familiar.
Give me a memory test.
Wow, that's a skill I haven't seen before.
It's flat wisdom.
There we go. It's because, wisdom is my strongest.
There are a lot of really tall men with dark hair.
Boy, if ever there was a time for me to have a reroll, right, guys?
Oh, man, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to stall here for a few seconds.
No.
I mean, with a roll like that, it's got to be Jimmy, right?
Well, I'm thinking it definitely sounds like the eldest Skellerang. I'm definitely thinking that this is Nabthatorin because of the eyes of fire, jet black hair. Didn't mention a beard, but I'm not sure if the current incarnation Nabthatorin's taken had a beard or not.
Do you ask any more about this, or do you just kind of let it trail off and...
Well, he is on a roll, and... Oh, God, I can't think of any genuine questions that would,
So, how was your sex life after?
Fucking red. Breaking my immersion, man. No, I can certainly empathize with you. I've lost my fair share of battles lately,
And you've lost an arm. You seem to be doing quite well for yourself.
a leg actually, but and he'll kind of just lift a leg and wiggle his toes. But I got better.
Do you mean you got better? This is not a common cold. You don't just cough a leg back out.
I got better.
No, it certainly came at a price. But as I've said before, things have been rather unique in Cauldron the last month or so. These last few weeks have been trying when it comes to the imagination and the sanity. But this warrior you fought, the swordsman, he wore no sigil, he bore no symbol.
No, he looked like a dead man. He was even buried in a dead man's clothes. They had typical, at the time, if they didn't burn their dead, they buried them in appropriate funerary attire. So, when they say dead man's clothes, that was the thing.
Well, there have been tales of the dead walking the streets again.
Where have you heard this tale? This was not in my city.
Oh, in Cauldron.
Why are we going there?
Oh. I'm going there because I am now one of the guard. And my intention is to rescue the people from the evils that ails Cort.
Wait, I just thought of something. Sorry, not. You have the mask on, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So the leg that you brought up and wiggled the toes on looks exactly the same as the other leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I wasn't insane.
Yeah, sort of like how a Drider looked like a little frogman.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
but I imagine you going like, yeah, I even got a new foot! Showing him and it's just the same. Look at it, you can tell how different it is by the way it is.
If you put them up side by side, one's a little longer than the other.
Okay, Bubba, technical question on that then, because he limps when he doesn't have the mask on. Does he limp when he has the mask on, or does it?
No.
Because
Hold on.
Perceived,
I
right?
feel as if you guys are forgetting something relatively important. When Jakob was returned from his butterfly state.
Oh, he was back to his real form, wasn't he?
Yes, entirely.
Awkward.
Well, except for the whole, why not
Arm
Zoid
thing?
Park?
Whole arm thing.
Yeah, the 2 extra arms, probably slightly longer horns.
Whoa! You can't listen, man. You're going through puberty right now. It's a weird time. Okay, it's a weird time for a Gliberizu.
Yeah, I'm a late
You're
bloomer.
just gonna
I'm
keep
almost
making
30.
fun of you at the demon high school. It's the worst.
Do you know what that is for a demon? What's 30 years when you can live forever? You just a baby.
And you do not look pleased.
It's actually, I believe Eldritch is correct in this. Your appearance started to dramatically change after you're grabbing the staff.
No, I came back in Gliberizu form. I grabbed the staff on my way out to battle, and the staff changed.
Oh, that's what it was. The staff changed. That's right. That's my mistake.
Yeah, it changed from the angelic, the angelic staff with the eye and everything, and turned into basically a twin-pronged scythe.
I was under the impression that he got changed after he touched the staff when his
staff changed.
Jabby came to get him.
Oh. The staff didn't change shit. I changed it. But that's how I go.
Sniper is a bad influence not only on people but also on inanimate objects.
Tieflings aren't even considered adults until they're 60 years old. You're definitely going through puberty.
It explains so much.
He's actually just in the terrible twos.
That's perfect. Oh my goodness. Saver Dice, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much. Welcome in, Forrest Walken.
Little baby.
Welcome in, everybody. You can't, I hope you can't escape me. What's up, guys? Welcome in. Fantastic. Thanks for the follow. Guys, thank you so much. Cody, much appreciated, sir, for the host again. You You just pour it out on me, man. I'm gonna see you soon. Soon. Very, very soon. Yep, Gen Con. We should talk. Yeah, I'll buy a drink. Be a good time. Yeah, be a really good time. Welcome in, everybody, guys. We're in episode 166 of Shackled City. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be real weird. Yeah. So, grab a seat. And if you're eager to stand up, stretch out a little bit, get some popcorn, run to the bathroom. Not in that order. Then come back and visit us for a little bit, because it's gonna be weird. Our players are finally coming back together after about 3 or 4 sessions separated. We split the party in traditional Shackled City fashion.
Well, it took us 3 sessions.
Yeah, always a
to get
wonderful
new record.
idea.
Usually takes
You know.
5 or 6.
10-10, wood soak in wood.
Listen, man, this is what happens when a young tiefling touches another man's staff. Weird things begin to happen to them, okay? It'll be okay.
I'd be closer to God.
Whoa, they lied. They lied. They lied to you, sir. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, are you hoping to remove this mask to show him your features? Your true features?
Oh, fuck no. That is the last thing I need to go ahead and do.
I don't see what could go wrong.
Yes, here's this knightly knight, the leader of lawful good, the trainer of Cort, and I'm just gonna be like, flip, glabreeze it up and just be like, sup. Glad I saved your life on the road. Please don't kill me.
It's gonna be weird. Yeah.
God, I hope your mask get knocks. Like, I hope the fucking the bone horse just collides into something. The mask goes flying. Oh boy, that'll be fun.
He hasn't mentioned anything further about the bone horse.
Look, it's not evil. It's not
the
awful.
weird staff that I'm carrying.
He's
Look,
got
you just
questions, but what does he really have to say?
You look like a good guy. What can he say?
More than just a good guy. Like, you literally look like you came out of Breath of the Wild, man. Like, you look like a Zelda hero just waiting to happen.
No, you know what he is? There's Greyweather, who's like someone playing Diablo, who's like, level 20, has some gear, looks pretty cool. And then you have the dude coming over here out of the fucking Cal realm, like max level, full fucking like triple horned hat with the fucking like big weapon. He's just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, you want to ride my bone pony?
Yep. You did it.
Pony?
Yeah.
Someone had to say it.
Oh man.
I could let that one go miss.
I'm sure Genuine would write a song about that. But I'm not ready to hear the lyrics. I'll let Rahk write that rendition in his perfect half-orc form. So, do you have any last words that you'd like to say before separating?
Separating? What?
Yeah, allowing me to go to another one of the players.
Ah, there we go. I can say this much, Marion. It's not uncommon to feel a little shame after a loss, especially a loss where you lose something important, possibly even your livelihood. This is going to be a big change in your life. But remember that you're not a knight solely for the sake of swinging your sword. You're a knight because you want to uphold what's right and true. You want to do the right thing. Protect the people. There are more ways to do that than by holding a sword and a shield. That having been said, I have suspicions as to who this mystery swordsman that you came across might be. There have been rumors of a re-arisen Skellerang being seen in the streets of Cauldron. It's even been rumored that he burned down a church. Your squire, actually, is one who came across him and reported the sighting. Whether it's the same man, I can't say for certain. I don't believe Cort recognized him, but then again, Cort may not have seen the man in his village. But I think it would do him well to go ahead and see that his master yet lives, and I think it would do you a world of good to see just how much your the product of your teachings has accomplished. So, cheer up. The road may seem long, but we'll hit Cauldron soon enough, and then you can make your decisions then.
I would just like to reiterate what it is that you've said to me, and the most positive of ways. Not nearly as alarming as I think it should be, and I would really like for you to hear it yourself. You just informed me that my squire turned knight. Now, lie in wait in a town that was overrun by the undead, and that the man who single-handedly slayed his village, his family, and left me for dead after removing my arm, also walks this town. And you expressed that I should be chipper, that I should cheer up. Does that not sound foolhardy to you? Does it not sound strange?
Well, when the only options you have left are laugh or cry, why cry? Though perhaps I'm just a little jaded.
Some of the younger, less capable, those working in more the laborious fields, would say that you would be those that have, and I quote, seen some shit. Jaded, I believe, yes, I believe that is the case.
No worries, once we get to Cauldron, you'll see some shit too. Trust me. There will be vast quantities.
I am not prepared for the vision quest into fecal continuity as not something I look forward to.
And listen.
Well, I could potentially give you a sneak peek, but have to share the road for several days yet.
I really wish you wouldn't. In fact, this is you. Let's just keep writing, and I would appreciate the silence for at least a little while longer.
Yeah, let it marinate. No, I understand.
Thank you. What? No. You're at times rather disgusting. I understand now why that man fled from you in the bar.
And Jacob's just going to smile to himself and, flick the reins and trot on.
You'll ride until nightfall, where you will allow your horses to rest. Oh, for the record, Sassarine imparted with 2 cloths. They are essentially scarves. They are red ribbon scarves. They are meant specifically to tailor to runners. They're people that are without steed, but if for some reason you have to use a steed, they will taper this around the neck of your steed, and it actually increases the speed at which they move if you're running full bore. And it's essentially something that they had been creating in the region, and it's something that you may have not even realized, largely because, well, it's lots of Hail Marys and Hellfire in Cauldron, but there actually is a prominent mail service that doesn't just rely on pigeon or crow. It's called Monk Mail. Monkmail.
.com.
No,
It's like pigeon, but with monks instead. They just fucking run everywhere.
It's
So basically, it's a sash of haste.
sort of. It's a ribbon that they wear around their necks, which increases their move speed at 3 times fold.
I'm just imagining an entire postal service, like the mailman from
Zelda. I'm going to assume that this is something that's extremely temporary, and we will have to go ahead and not keep.
Oh yeah, you will have to deliver it to the proper store. But I don't actually think that Cauldron has a location to collect this. So, yeah, you would probably have to give it back to Kiana.
Yeah, that works, because, I doubt you want me to go ahead and put in my sheet, ribbon of triple move speed.
I mean, you could, but the way that it functions, you cannot wear a necklace and you cannot wear anything basically above the neck. So no diadem, no crown, no helmet, nothing like that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, that'd make a really good item.
Functionally, it's very useful, but when you realize that you're not capable of wearing much else with it, it's only very useful to those that can already move very quickly.
Very mono use.
Niche, yes. But yeah, Monkmail is a thing in the northern cities, and it's starting to bleed down. Sasserine had their own post for it. And it's sort of like a post office of sorts. It's much faster than Crow.
I am riding the fastest corpse in the land.
Yes. You just keep... we're done talking about this. Yes. I don't want to talk about how quick your bony moves. Oh, man. My levels of uncomfort are rising.
Moving right along.
But back to what we were talking about. That night you will rest fireside. You will not have an easy sleep. Nightmares will placate your evening. Lots of rolling around. And you'll be having your own visions. But that's something that we will come to again soon enough. So, friends, Cort, Ulhime, and Rahk, I'm going to pass the buck to you three. Which of you would like to go next before your immediate encounters?
Cort, since you just segmented from Blind Master.
Sure, Cort. I'll see what it is that you'd like to do, but I have a feeling it's going to be much more of the same, of just walking around and
mostly
helping
helping the village, yeah.
Okay. All right. Will you be doing anything else in particular? Anything unique to your scenario? Do you find yourself looking out for the man? The one with the wires that hung from his hands?
Ronald said he was going to deal with him, so probably not. I was around the lower areas before, and I was kind of in the middle area last time, so I might go towards the back rim, like more along the wall.